So you have a presentation coming up, whether it's on Zoom or live in front of 1,000 people, you know you want to crush the presentation. Well, in this video, I want to help you master the art of preparation so you can have the most impactful presentation you've ever had, all in 3 steps. Now, as we go, I want you to call out in the comments what step you need to lean into the most, because there's typically one or more that we skip out on because we don't think we have enough time to do it. That means that's your biggest opportunity for growth. So let's get started. Step number 1 is always do your research. That means spending time reading about the subject, listening to podcasts, watching videos, and maybe even examining your own personal story so that you remember what is done for you in the past. One of the powerful things you want to do is actually make the presentation be a part of you. Because when you're not just reciting the material, but it's actually a part of you, it becomes so much more simple for you to perform at your highest level. Now, let me tell you, this doesn't take long. You're an expert in the material that you're going to be talking about. Did you know that being an expert means you just know 10% more than the general public? If you read even 1 or 2 books on the subject, you're already far ahead of everyone else. And remember, nobody's an expert on your presentation like you are. That's why getting you to do the research so you can own it is critical. Now, number 2 is once you've done the research, it's time to practice it before you give the presentation live. Now, some people say they like to do things in front of a mirror. That's not necessarily what has worked best for me. What I'll typically do is do it in front of somebody that actually makes me a little bit uncomfortable so that they can critique and give me feedback and advice along the way. Another option is you just record yourself doing that video. And I know sometimes it's hard to watch your video back, but when you do, you'll be amazed at how much you learn and how much you can tweak along the way. Now, there's one caveat to this, and that is you want to actually set up the exact routine that you'll be doing on the day of the presentation, which means you want to wake up at the same time. You want to eat the same foods. You want to drink the same things because you don't want anything to actually be throwing you off. One of the worst things you can do is completely change your routine on presentation day. So as you're practicing, you're going to see that there's some adjustments that you can make. But how many adjustments should you make to your presentation? That's a great question. Now, I highly encourage you to take your hands off the presentation on the day that you're actually doing it live. If you're rushing to change things at the last minute, you're more than likely not thinking with your prefrontal cortex, and it's not going to come out the way that you want it to. So put a hard stop deadline on when you're going to be making any changes. I typically do this within that 24-hour period. The last day, I am not allowed to change anything in my presentation. Now, step number 3 is before you go live, focus on your mission. We all know that mindset is everything, right? But when you remind yourself of who needs you on your A game and who needs to hear your message right now, the truth is people out there are going to want to hear your message, and it's not everybody. But if you can connect with a few people and forever change their life, wouldn't it be worth for you to lean in and remind yourself of who you're fighting for? What you have to share is going to make a true impact for the people's lives that are listening to your presentation. Now, as you're reminding yourself of your mission, do some other things that generally pump you up. Whether it's listen to music, do some dancing, jumping on a trampoline, doing some push-ups, whatever it takes to get yourself in the zone. And then go out and crush your presentation, and I want to hear about it here at Modern Leadership. Now, you might get to this point and wonder how you can create unshakable confidence for when you are on that stage. Don't worry, we got you covered. Tap the screen to watch this next video. This is where Teresa and I share the secrets to generating massive self-confidence. And remember, your message needs to be heard. You've got this. Thanks for being willing to feel uncomfortable, but do it anyway. That's evidence you're the leader they need now more than ever. Thank you for what you do out there every single day, and keep leading from the front.